Good morning, students. You can mark your present. Just say hi on group chat. Okay, before we start with the chapter number 1, first I'll discuss the paper pattern and some important tips while solving the paper. Okay, so let us do the paper pattern for cost accounting. Now you can see paper will be for 100 marks. Okay. Duration will be 3 hours. All questions are compulsory. Each question carries 20 marks. Question 1 will be objective questions. In that, most probably you will have MCQ, that is multiple choice questions, and along with that, either you will have true or false or match the following. Okay, chances of true or false are more. Okay. Then question 2 will have internal choice. This question will have a cost sheet, and against that you can have another cost sheet or profit reconciliation statement or material cost. Okay, 20% to you expect cost sheet sum or profit reconciliation sum or material cost. Here, in question 3, again, internal choice will be there. Here you will find sum on material cost, and against that you may have overhead accounting. Okay. In option, you may have material cost and labor cost. Question 4, labor cost will be there. Against that, you will find overheads costing and material costing. Okay. Question 5 will be theory question. Students give least importance to this question, but this is most important question. Okay, those who are on the boundary line. Okay, this question may save them. Okay, today I'll be giving some questions to you based on chapters. Chapter-wise questions I'll be giving. Okay, just go through those questions and do attend this question in full. Okay, don't take this question lightly. It will save, or rather, will give you good marks. Okay. Okay, and some important tips. As I told you, question 2 to 5, each one will have internal choice. Okay, to choose the better option. Always there will be an easier option to each question. So find whichever you find easier, please choose that and solve it. Okay. Number 2 tip is do consider time required for each sum. Okay. Sometimes 2 questions of 10 marks each will take lesser time than 1 question of 20 marks. Okay. So choose the question accordingly. And third point, very important point. See, normally you find in textbook we have small print of question. Okay. Even if you go to classes or refer to any other book, the print is very fine, very small size. Okay. But in question paper, in university question paper, font size will be bigger. So it may one question may not accommodate on one page. Okay, it may run down to 2 pages. Okay, so don't get confused. Okay, this is the point that students get confused. That one question may be printed on 2 pages. Okay, so keep this in mind. Okay, then tip 4 is order of questions. You can solve questions in any order, but I suggest you start with objectives only. Always attempt question number 1 first. Okay, then you can change the order as per your requirement, but as far as possible, stick to the order of the question paper. Okay. Um, One more important thing relating to this: whenever you start a new question, please start on a new page. Okay, even if you have used only 2-3 lines of one page for earlier sum, don't start your answer there itself. Okay, leave that page and start question on a completely new page. Okay, then working notes. I have seen many students are very smart. They calculate things mentally, but this will not give you good marks. Okay? If you read notes to the question paper, it will say that working notes should form part of your answer and they carry marks. Okay, so although you can do the calculations mentally, better you write them as a working note. Okay. Next important thing is see what is asked in the paper. Okay, if they have asked to make a specific account, do make that account. You will be having a habit of solving question in a specific format. Okay, but if it is not asked, don't answer that. That will be a working note. You can name it as working note. Okay, so very important that what is asked is concentrated on. Okay, and presentation of that part should be neat and clean. Okay. And last and not least, don't question the question. Whatever question says, just follow that. Okay. If they say staff salary in the bracket, you put factory, then that staff salary belongs to fact. Okay. Okay. Now we'll go to uh, chapter number 1, cost sheet. Okay. So cost sheet. What is cost sheet? It's just a statement of all the cost. Okay. Well, first of all, tell me what is cost. Cost is nothing but amount spent on a product, on its production. Uh, just a minute. Some students are saying that link is not working. I'll send the link again. Just give me a minute. Wait. Students, lecture will be on YouTube. I have shared the link. Okay, students, whose link is working, please copy paste in our group, or rather send it me again. I'll share that. I don't know why your link is not working in case of few students. I think they must have joined now. Yeah, number has increased. Okay, so let us start again with the chapter cost sheet. As I told you, cost sheet is a statement which contains all the costs which are incurred for producing a product or rendering a service. Normally, you have to deal with the product only. Okay. Now, for this chapter, there are some important points which one should keep in mind while solving the sum. Okay. The first one, the cost sheet is prepared from point of view of a producer. Okay. That's a manufacturer. So whenever you see any expense, look at it from producer's point of view. Okay. Then decide whether it's a production expense, selling expense, or a office expense. Okay. Now, in cost sheet, there will be three types of costs. Okay. That is raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. Each of these will have their opening stock as well as closing stock. Okay. Now, in cost sheet, we use element-wise classification, that is direct cost and indirect cost for making cost sheet. Okay, we always begin with direct cost. Under direct cost, we cover direct material, direct labor, and direct expenses. Total of these three is called as prime cost. We call it prime cost. Okay. After this, we go to indirect cost. Under indirect cost, we have three subheads. That is factory overheads, office and administration overheads, and selling and distribution overheads. Okay. In case of cost sheets, we consider only two incomes. Okay, can you tell me or typing live chat which are those two incomes? Well, there are only two incomes which are considered in cost sheet. First one is sale of goods, and second is sale of scrap. Okay. From this, if any other income is there, okay, just ignore it. Okay, like rent received, commission received, anything else is to be ignored. Only two incomes are considered in cost sheet. One is sale of goods, which will be the last item in your cost sheet, and sale of scrap, which is reduced from factory cost, Okay. Then fifth point, account for all expenses which are incurred directly or indirectly, and they relate to the production or sale of goods. Your cost sheet will cover all the expenses which relate to production activity, storage, and sales of the goods. Okay. Sixth important point, finance expenses like interest, discount allowed, bad debt are not considered while preparing the cost sheet. Okay. Now, seventh important point, purchase of assets, okay, are not recorded in cost sheet. Like we don't record purchase of assets in trading and P&L. We record them in balance sheet. Okay. But we record the depreciation on these assets in trading or manufacturing and P&L. Same way in cost sheet also, we consider only their depreciation. We don't consider asset in cost sheet. If at all in the given question, items of assets are there, just put a cross. They won't come in your cost sheet. Okay, students? Okay. Now, as I told you, our cost sheet will be a statement of all the cost. Okay. And the format will be, you always start with direct cost. You start with direct cost. Just copy it here. You start with direct cost. Okay. Under that, you have direct material, direct labor, and direct expenses. And total of these three will be prime cost. Okay. After that, you start with indirect cost. You start with indirect cost. Okay. Now, under indirect cost, first take factory overheads. Okay. Whatever prime cost amount you have received. Okay. In that, you will add a factory overheads amount. Okay. So factory overheads, this head will cover all the factory expenses, all the expenses which related to production activity. Okay. Now, after factory overheads are totaled, what we have to do? We have to consider opening and closing stock of WA. Okay. So here, when you which factory overheads or a total of factory overheads, add opening stock of WIP and subtract closing stock of WIP. Okay, you will get net factory cost. You will get net factory cost. Okay, then we take up office and administration overheads. Okay, so when we add factory or office overheads to net factory cost, we get cost of production. We get cost of production. Okay, in that we add opening stock of finished goods and subtract closing stock of finished goods. Okay, opening stock of finished goods and subtract closing stock of finished goods. Okay, we get cost of goods sold. We get cost of goods sold. Then we add selling overheads. We get total cost. Okay. Then we add profit to get sales. Okay. Now, in prime cost, we saw that we have direct material. Sometimes direct material amount is not directly given to us. Okay. So there we have to use a formula. Okay. And just so under direct material also, they may not give you the amount directly. So there we have to use the formula opening stock of raw material, add purchase of raw material, less closing stock of raw material. Okay. This way, you will have to make a cost sheet. So basically, cost sheet is a statement in which you have to list out all the costs. Okay, in a specific order. Okay, order will be classification of all the cost element wise. So first we take up direct cost, and after that indirect cost. Now I'll show you a complete format of cost sheet. Look, okay, we give the heading cost sheet of the company name, and we draw minimum 2 columns. Okay, and we start with direct cost. Under that, first is direct material. Under that, we have opening stock of raw material, purchase of raw material. Sometimes returns are given, so we subtract returns here. Okay. Then add expense on purchase like carriage inward. Okay. We add it to this cost of direct material and less closing stock of raw material. Okay. Then second heading is direct wages or direct labor. Okay. In this, maximum adjustment can be outstanding wages. So you have to add it to this direct wages now. Okay. Then third is direct expenses. Okay. Sometimes special plant higher charges will be given, so it will be under this head. Sometimes even expense on purchase can be shown under direct. Okay. Now total of these 3 items is your prime cost. Okay. Then we start with indirect cost. In that first item will be factory overheads. Under factory overheads, we cover all the items which relate to your production activity. Clear, students? Okay. Now some examples are given. Like indirect labor, if outstanding are there, we have to add it. Factory supervision, heat, light, power, depression, factory building, repairs to factory, even repairs of goods, if given in the question, will come here. Depreciation on factory assets will come here. Okay. Miscellaneous factory expenses, these items will appear here. Okay. I hope this is clear, students. Okay. So when question is given, what you have to do? You have to do marking like we used to do in final account. You remember when a trial balance was given, we used to mark T for trading item, P for P&L item, A for asset, and L for liability. Same way in cost sum also. Okay, there is nothing difficult actually in cost. We just need to know where the specific item will go. Okay, and do the markings accordingly. Okay, for prime cost items, marking will be DM for direct material items, DW or DL for direct labor item, PE for direct expense item. Okay, for factory items, F will be the marking. Okay, So after gross factory cost, which we get after adding factory overheads to prime cost, we get gross factory cost. Okay? So that we add opening stock of WIP minus closing stock of WIP, we get net factory cost. Okay. Then next heading is office and administration overhead. Okay. So whatever expenses are shown which relate to office will be covered here. Okay. If the question says that apportion one specific expense into two parts, factory and office, then it will appear on both the places. Like in this sum, heat light power is apportioned between factory and office. Okay, in given ratio, eight shares for factory and 2 shares for office. Okay, so this may happen. Okay, I told you at the beginning, don't question the question. Whatever question says, follow that. Okay, so depreciation on office appliances, office furniture, uh, uh, in case building is occupied by office as well as by factory, the proportion will be given to you in the question. So accordingly, you bifurcate the depreciation also. So when you add these factory, rather office overheads to your net factory cost, you get cost of production. Okay. Then we add opening stock of finished goods and subtract closing stock of finished goods. Students always remember closing stock of finished goods will not be directly given to you. If it is directly given to you, you are lucky then. Okay. Normally units will be given. You will be given units and not the amount. So how to get amount? Because cost sheet is prepared by using values, not units. Okay. So how to change that amount? Then let me tell you, this cost of production figure is there. Okay. Let me show you in this question. Okay. Now say for example, our cost of production is 6,56,820. Okay. Then units produced will be given to you in the question. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to divide this cost of production by units produced to get per unit cost of production. Okay. So whatever units are sold to you are there lying in closing stock. You multiply that with this cost of production per unit. Okay. Clear? You will get the value of closing stock. Understood? This way you can get value of closing stock. This is very common adjustment in all the sums. So whenever you are solving a question of cost sheet, remember that if closing stock is not given or given only in units, you have to use this problem. They may say that units produced were 10,000 and units sold are 9,000. So obviously 1,000 units are closing stock. They will not specifically tell you that this is closing stock. Okay. So units produced minus units sold will be your closing stock. Clear, students? Okay. So in cost of production, if you add opening stock of finished goods and subtract closing stock of finished goods, you will get cost of goods sold. Clear? Okay. Then last head, selling and distribution overheads. Okay. So all sales related, all salesman related, all traveling expenses will come here. Okay. So total of this will be added to your cost of goods sold. You will get total cost, also called as cost of sales. Clear? Then add profit, will get sales. Sometimes sale is given and profit is given balancing figure. Okay, friends? Okay. Now, two more points which I didn't discuss, but now I'll shift them above to show you. Point number 8 and 9. So this question, point number 8 says, whenever information about number of units is given in the question, you have to make one small equation, very simple equation. Opening stock plus production is equal to sales plus closing. Okay. Let's give you an example. Suppose I have opening stock of 1,000 units. Okay. And I have produced 19,000 units during the year. Okay. So total is 20,000 units. So I have total of 20,000 units. So this will match with the other half of equation, that is sales plus closing. So out of this, suppose I have sold only 18,000 units, then what will be my closing stock? 2,000. Clear? So this equation will give you all the missing information. So whenever units are given, always make this equation. Equation is very simple. Okay. It has two sides. Okay. Opening stock plus production is equal to sales plus closing. Okay. Now, if production is missing, production is not given, but sales and closing is given, and opening stock is also given. What you can do, you can shift opening stock to the right hand. So it will be production is equal to sales plus closing minus opening stock. Okay. So this way you can find any missing value in the equation. Okay. Let me tell you, if opening stock is not mentioned, you can presume it to be 0. Okay. So your production will be sales plus closing. In case opening stock is not mentioned, then you can presume it to be 0. Okay. Then 9 point, we need number of units produced and units sold to calculate cost per unit. As I told you, in this sum, we calculated cost per unit for cost of production because we needed to value our closing stock. Okay. I hope you are clear with the format. Now I will quickly get you through some questions. Okay. And this question will be more than enough for you to prepare for your exam. Okay. So we won't be solving them. I have already have the solution for them. Okay. I'll be showing you how to deal with this kind of questions. Okay. We have less time because I have to cover one more chapter after this, reconciliation, because many students have asked for reconciliation chapter. So I'll give more time on that. But as a base, you need to know what is cost. Okay. So I'll take you through 6-7 questions of cost sheet which have high chances of being there in the paper. Okay. So as I told you, they will provide a table in which items will be given and amounts will be given. Okay. You just have to do markings. Okay. Like under which head this will come. For this, you need to know the format of cost sheet. Okay. Since only 1 week is left for your exam, so I know that you all must be very well versed with this format. Okay. So let us do the markings where the item will go, and then I'll take you to the solution part. Okay. So opening stock of raw material, it will be BM, right? Material purchase, again it will be direct material. Drawing office salary. Drawing indicates, see here in the bracket it's mentioned factory. So don't question it. Okay, don't apply your mind there. Okay, just mark as S. Okay. Okay. General office salaries will go to office. Bad debts, as I told you, finance expense we don't take. So bad debts, interest, discount allowed, we don't take them. Traveling, all traveling will go selling and distribution expenses. Okay. Depreciation written off on office furniture will go to office. Rent rates and taxes, factory, so straight away factory. Productive wages is direct wages, not direct labor. General expenses, office expenses. Gas and water, they have mentioned factory, so don't question the question. It's factory only. Okay. Traveling expenses, selling and distribution. Sales is your sales. Okay. You'll not do any markings for that. Okay. Manager salary, 2/3 to factory and 1/3 to office. So out of 3 shares, 2 shares will be put in overheads and 1/3, that is 1 share out of 3 will go to office. Okay. So 15,000 into 2 divided by 3, whatever amount you will get, that is 10,000 will go to factory and rest 5,000 will go to office. So marking will be both F and O. Okay. Depreciation written off on plant and machinery. It is used in factory, so F. Cash discount allowed. We don't take cash discount or other any discount. Okay. Repairs to plant and machinery. Again, it is done in factory. Okay. Carriage outward is a selling and distribution expense. Direct expense is direct expense. Okay. In prime cost. Rent rates office. So we'll take office. Gas office. Yes, office. Don't question the question. Stock of material on 31st December. This is closing stock. So again, part of your DA. Here, this is very basic sum, so that everything is revised. Whatever you have studied till now is revised. Okay, students. So see how they will appear here. Opening stock of raw material at purchase, expense of purchases, closing stock, productive wages, direct expense gives us prime cost. Then all factory overheads. Okay, in the proportion as mentioned there. Okay, take them in inner column, take total in outer column, add to prime cost, you'll get gross factory cost. If we had given WIP opening closing, we would have mentioned it here. Okay, right? We get net factory cost. Then we go to office overheads. Under that, we cover all the office items. Okay. Then we add office overheads total to your net factory cost. You get cost of production. Okay. Then opening stock of finished goods minus closing stock of finished goods. This was very basic sum. So we put in units here. Okay. So we get cost of goods sold. Then selling distribution expenses, we get total cost. Add profit, we get sales. Sales was given, so profit is your balancing figure. Okay. Okay. I hope there are no doubts with this question. I'll go to the next question, students. I'll cover as many good questions as possible. Okay. And there will be question out of these questions only. Don't worry. Okay. So whatever I'm showing, just pay attention. Okay. Second question. The following particulars have been extracted from the books of M Manufacturing Company Limited, Calcutta, for the year 91. Okay, let us do the markings. You can do it orally only. Stock of raw material DM, that is opening, then closing is given. Okay, from the year you can make out which one is opening, which one is closing. Okay, so again DM, material purchase DM, factory office salaries F, admin office salary A, admin overhead. So O, carriage inward, direct material, carriage outward, selling and distribution. Cash discount allowed, not to be considered. Bad debts ignored. Repairs to plant, factory. Then rent factory, rent office given, sales, traveling expense. Very similar to earlier sum. Okay, some adjustments are given relating to manager's salary, where is manager's salary. At the end, we have manager's salary and adjustment is given. It says out of 48 hours in a week, the time devoted by the manager to factory and office in the ratio of 40 hours and 8 hours. So you have to divide manager's salary in the proportion of 40:8. So 40 upon 48 into salary. You will give you factory and rest to the office. Okay. So simple question. Do not waste your time here. Okay. Next one. Ajay, Bharat and Chetan are partners doing business as engineers, sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 2:1:1. We need not bother about PSR. Okay. Ajay is sleeping butter irrelevant for portion. This is not relevant at all. Okay. Now let us see the posting part. Raw material purchase, DM, wages. Two wages items are given. Direct will go to direct wages. Indirect will go to factory. Office salary O, carriage inward. DM, carriage outward. S&D, sales is sales. Opening stock. Raw material will go to DM. Finished goods will go to cost of production. So cost of production will write it. S&D, traveling expenses, advertisement S&D. Hour will go to factory. Agent commission means salesman's commission. S&D, plant maintenance, repairs and maintenance will go to factory. Rent and taxes. If nothing mentioned, will go to office. But there may be some adjustment. Yeah, it's given. Building occupies 9/10 by factory and 110 by office. So all of expenses related to building, like depreciation on building, rent rates, taxes on building, will be a portion on the basis of 9:1. Okay. So rent rates depends on space occupied by the building. So it will be in the ratio of 9:1. Okay. Central expenses works. Works indicates factory. Remember this. Works indicates factory. So we'll go to factory. There you will write sundry expenses in factory. Again in office you will write sundry expenses. Okay. Building repairs again 9:1 will be the ratio. Interest on partner's capital no more. We don't show interest in our cost sheet. Depreciation, plant and machinery will go to factory. Building again a portion as 9:1. Okay. Closing stock raw material will go to DM. Finished goods will go to cost of production. Okay, students. Shall we go to next one? Okay. Mm, the books and records of Kunal Company presents the following data for the month of August 87. Okay. Okay, solution is not available, so we'll solve this one. Okay, students, let us solve this one. We don't have solution for this. Okay. Now, what information they have given? Direct labor cost is given 16,000, which is 160% of factory overheads. Cost of goods sold given 56,000. Then inventory information is given to us. Raw material opening and closing is given for first August and 31st August. WIP and finished goods also opening closing is given. Sales expenses given. General, that is office expenses are given. You are required to prepare statement showing cost of goods manufactured and sold and profit earned till 65,000. So let us solve this sum. Okay, we start with direct material. See, we have space constraints, so I'll just add a few lines here. Okay, so now we have space here. So we have direct material, then direct labor. There is no mention of direct expense, so this should be your prime cost. Then we'll add factory overheads. We get factory cost. WIP is there, na? So I'll write it gross factory cost. Gross factory cost. Add even in material I have to do that. Then opening stock of WIP less closing stock of WIP. We get net factory cost. This is important sum, students. Okay, when some values are missing, how to find them? Okay, then we add factory and office overheads. This and admin overheads. We get cost of production. Add opening stock of finished goods less closing stock of finished goods. We get cost of goods sold. Then add selling and distribution. We get total cost. Then we add profit to it. We get sales, right? Okay, so let us put in material. Let me add the lines opening and closing. Opening in material again, I have opening stock of raw material. Add purchase of raw material. There is no carrying or anything, so less closing stock of raw material. Okay, so this information is missing purchase of raw material, so we have to find it. Okay, so let us fill in whatever is available to us. Okay, from the beginning I'll start. Direct labor cost is given 16,000. I'll put 16,000 here. Okay, you can solve if you want, otherwise you solve it later on. Just pay attention. Then cost of goods sold is given 56,000. Cost of goods sold, yeah, this is 56,000. Okay, what else is given? Opening stock of raw material is 8,000. I'll make it two columns. Put this to right hand side. These two columns are finished. Is 9 rupees. Okay. Opening stock of raw material is 8,000. Then closing stock of raw material 8,600. Then WIP opening is 8,000. And closing stock of WIP is 12,000. Then finished goods opening is 14,000. And closing stock of finished goods is 18,000. Okay. Okay. What else is given? Selling expenses 3,400. 3,400 given to us. Then general office, that is office admin overheads given to us. Amount is 2,600. Okay. What else is given? Find out. Prepare a cost statement. Use this number. Sales is given 65,000. 65,000 is my sale. Okay. Okay. So let us find out missing raw material purchased amount. Okay. So in such case, we have to go reverse. Okay. Now COGS is given to us and selling distribution is also given. So we can add these to get the total cost, right? So 56,000 plus 3,400 will give me. Let me remove zeros here. Zeros. Okay. So my total cost is now 59,400. Understood now how we got this? COGS was given to me. Okay. And selling expenses was also given 6,400. So I added to get total cost. Now I have sales also. So I can find out profit. Sales minus total cost will give me profit. Now what is missing? Stock production value is missing. How to get that? Go reverse. So whatever, see, while going from top to bottom, if it is plus, we add it. If it is minus, we subtract it. But while going reverse from bottom to top, you reverse what you are doing. Okay. So 56,000, you'll plus 18,000. Just let me remove this minus sign. Otherwise, you'll get confused. Even here, I'll remove this sign and keep it proper 12,000. Okay. Okay. So COGS is given to you. Okay. And opening, closing, FG is given to you. Okay. While coming from top to bottom, if we had given COP, then we would have added opening stock of finished goods and subtracted closing stock of finished goods. But since we have to go reverse, you have to reverse the signs. Okay. So what you will do? 56,000 plus 18,000 minus 14,000 to get COP. Did you understand this? Start with 56,000 plus 18,000 and minus 14,000. Okay. So you have to go reverse. Okay. Now, if you go from top to bottom, you will see your answer is correct. Okay. You can verify 60,000 plus 14,000 minus 18,000. Check your answer if you're getting it. Okay. It will be like cost of production was missing. So what I did, I started with COGS. Okay. Since closing stock is normally minus, but we are going reverse, so add it. Okay. Okay. So 56,000 plus 18 minus 14 will give you cost of production. Same way now we have to do it for the other heads. Now what else is missing? Net factory cost is missing. Okay. We have cost of production, we have office overheads also. Normally what we do, net factory cost, add office overheads, we get cost of production. Now it will be reversed. You will do cost of production minus net factory cost, you will get office estimate, you will get net factory cost. Okay. So it will be 60,000 minus 2,600. Okay. Now how to get gross factory cost, students? Again, net factory cost. Okay. you add closing stock. Understand now why to add? We are going reverse. So add closing stock and subtract opening stock. Okay. So our gross factory cost is now 61,400. Is this clear, students? Okay. Now above that we have factory overheads. Amount is not given, so we cannot proceed. But if you look at the first item which was given, direct labor cost. Labor cost is given as 16,000, but in bracket they have mentioned that 16,000 is 160% of factory overheads. Okay, so I'll just show you how to get this. It's very simple, but I'll show you systematically. Now, two things are related. One is direct labor, and second is factory overhead, right? Factory overhead. These two are related. They say. Okay, they say that factory labor is 160% of factory overheads. So labor is 160 if factory overhead is 100. Likely. Clear? Direct labor is 160% of factory overhead. If factory is 100, this is 160. So now 160 figure they have given as 16,000. Clear? So you can cross multiply and get the value. 16,000 into 100 divided by 160. So it comes to 10,000. Okay, friends. So factory overhead we calculate it as 10,000. Okay. Now how to get prime cost? Normally, prime cost plus factory overheads gives us gross factory cost. Now it is reverse. So gross factory cost minus factory overheads will give you prime cost. Okay, so I'll do it. 61,400 minus 10,000. So I got prime. Okay. Now, as I told you, in prime cost we have only two items. Which are those two items? First is direct material and second is direct labor. Material figure is missing, right? But direct labor amount is available. So addition of these two is 51,400. So obviously from 51,400 if you remove 16,000 you will get material amount. Okay. So how to get material amount now? So 51,400 minus 16,000. So your material amount is 35,400. Okay. So now how to get purchases, student, which are missing? Same way, do the reverse calculation. You start with net material consumed figure. You add a closing stock and subtract opening stock. Okay, so I'll do it. 35,400 plus closing stock minus opening stock. We got 18,800 as our purchases. This was a very good question. So I hope you have learned this question, how to solve it. If missing figures are there, this way you have to do reverse calculation. Okay. Okay. We will move on to next question. The following figures are extracted from the trial balance of Go Getter company on 30th September 19. Okay. It's a lengthy question, I guess. Yeah. So this is comprehensive sum. So after this, we'll go to estimated cost sheet and two product cost. Okay. So let us complete this one first. There are so many sums in this cost sheet now, but it will okay. I'll show you sixth one also. That is also very different. 7 points also different. Okay. Let us compare this sixth one first. Okay, there is a question in the chat, live chat. These two incomes are not considered in cost sheet or other considered in cost sheet. Sale of goods and second, sale of scrap. Only these two incomes are considered in cost sheet. Okay, sale of goods will come at the end, that is sales, and sale of scrap is minus from the factory overheads. Okay, let me see if any other question is there. Yeah, there are high chances that you will have estimated cost sheet. Yeah, reverse calculation may be confusing, but don't worry, I have shown you the best way. Okay. So while going from top to bottom, whatever we do, just do the reverse. Okay. It won't be that you have to do some high level calculation. Just reverse the calculation, nothing else. Okay. Now let us go through this question. It has a lot of adjustments, so we'll just first read the adjustment. Okay, then we'll go to question up. Okay. Okay, they have first adjustment is regarding closing stock. So we know where they will be posted. Finished good control will go to cost of production, raw material closing stock, DM, WIP factory. Accrued expenses. So whenever accrued expenses are given, okay, remember you have to add to the expense. So direct labor amount will be given in the above table. Add this direct labor outstanding figure to it. Even in indirect labor, in factory overheads, you have to add this. Interest on borrowings are given, just ignore it. Okay. Depreciation given. Okay. See here, depreciation rate is given. It means in the table, they must have given the assets. So whenever you will find asset in the table, just put a cross mark. But if they provide you rate of depreciation, do calculate that depreciation and post in cost sheet. You have to consider in cost sheet. Okay. So office appliance 5%, plant and machinery 10%, building 4%. You can directly do this on calculator. Okay. 5%, 10%, because we are not making a balance to be given. Okay. Next, distribution of the following cost. Heat, light, power to 2 means here they are showing the ratio. Factory, office, and selling. So these three heads, the allocation is 8:1:1. So total 10. 8/10, 1/10, and 1/10. Okay. Rent, rates, and taxes, 2/3 to factory and 1/3 to office. Depreciation on building, to factory of such building occupied by all the three. So again, ratio is given. With the help of the above information, you are required to prepare a cost sheet. Okay, we can do it. We'll just go through the table given above and see where they will be posted. So inventories means stock, finished goods, COP, raw material, DM, WIP, factory, office appliance. See, this is asset, plant and machinery asset, building asset. Put a cross, but calculate depreciation and put them in respective heads. Office appliance depreciation will go to office overheads. Plant and machinery will go to, or building will go to, I think the ratio is given. So divide them among the three departments. Okay. Sales, returns, and rebates. So this come, sales return, so subtract from sales. Material purchase, DM, freight, DM, purchase return less from direct material. Direct labor is given, indirect labor given. So we know that we have to add outstanding to these two. Factory supervision, factory repairs, and upkeep of factory. Heat, light, power, ratio is given. Rates, rate, taxes, ratio is given. Miscellaneous factory expenses, factory. Then all selling expenses are given. Okay. Interest on borrowing fund, again ignore. Okay. We'll go to next sum. A very different sum is there. I'll show you how to post them, how to make a post out of this. I'll read it. Prepare a cost sheet showing the cost per ton of paper manufactured by Bhadrachalam paper mills under the different elements of cost. Okay, so element of cost means our cost sheet. Direct cost and indirect cost. So direct materials given to us, paper pulp and other miscellaneous materials, to put them under direct material. Okay, 1,000 tons into 80 per ton. So amount will be 80,000. Clear? So put the directly amount. Miscellaneous material again 200 tons into 50 per ton. So this will give you amount of total material. Same way with the direct labor, 220 skilled men for 25 days at the rate 6 per day. So multiply 220 into 25 into 6. This will give you amount of skilled labor. Same way for unskilled also, 110 into 25 into 4. This will give you direct labor amount. Understood, students? This was new. Direct expenses, again, special equipment hiring charges and special dies will go to direct expenses. Directly amount is given to you. So its total is 15,000. Just put underline here. Okay, so addition of these three will give you prime cost. Okay. Now again, percentages are given. Factory works overheads. So after prime cost, we go to indirect cost. First is factory overheads. Variable cost, it says 100% on wages. So what is the total of wages? 44,000. So under factory overheads, make two sections, variable and fixed. So under variable put 44,000. Okay. And fixed is how much? 50% of direct wages. So 22,000. Okay. So we got factory overheads. So add these to your prime cost. You will get factory cost. Then admin overheads 10% of works cost. So we just got works cost as 2,15,000. 10% of that. Now give you cost of production. Then selling distribution. Okay. Is there any information about unsold stock? Not given. So we'll not consider opening and closing stock of finished goods. Okay. So after admin, we get cost of production, and that will be cost of goods sold only because there is no opening and closing stock. Okay. Then we add selling and distribution, which is 20% of works cost. So again, go to factory cost. On that 20% will be your selling and distribution. Okay. So now you will get total cost. Then we are given finished paper manufacture. This is quantity, not useful. Okay. Next, sale of paper at the rate 500 per ton. So 1,000 tons we have sold or other manufactured into 500 units. Amount will be 5 lakhs. That will be your sales. So total cost minus sales will give you profit. Okay, students. I hope this was important. One more question is there. It looks different. Yes, and also different. Almost done. So we'll do this one. The government of India has instituted the dual pricing system in the industry in which your organization operates. You are the head of the costing division of Matoshri Textile Company Limited. Your company produces a standard type of cloth, 50% of which is procured, means purchased by the government at a price of 4 per meter. So government is buying from you 50, half of your production at only 4 rupees per meter. Okay. You are requested to by the managing director of the company to suggest a suitable price for the cloth to be sold in the open market. Production during the year was 20 lakh meters of cloth. So 10 lakh meters will be given sold to government. Relevant information is given below. Okay. So we have to calculate at what price we can sell it to the customers, open market customers. Okay. So for that we need to make a cost sheet first. So use the data given. Okay, and prepare a cost sheet. Okay. Cost sheet is now very simple. We have already done so many sums. Okay. Okay, below the table we are provided some information. Let us read that. It says the company expects fair return of 20% of its paid up capital, which is 1 crore. Okay, so profit is given to you. How much is the profit? 20% of 1 crore. That is 20 lakhs. Understood? So profit is given to you. Okay. So if you reach total cost by using the tables information, you will reach total cost. Add profit to that, you will get sale. Understood? You will get total sales. From these sales, you can subtract sale to government. Okay. I'll show you if you notice there. Yeah, here. So we have reached the sale 1 crore 38 lakhs. Okay. So look here. Our total sales, look at first column only, 1 crore 38 lakhs, out of which half of the stock is sold to government at rupees 4 only. So 10 lakh meters sold to government at 4. So 40 lakh rupees sales is made to government. So remaining amount we can sell in the market. How much? 98 lakhs. And how much quantity is available? 10 lakhs. So 98 lakhs divided by 10 lakhs. That is 9.80. So we can charge our customer at 9.80 per meter. Students, have you understood this? Okay. Okay. Please put in chat box. Shall we go to the next chapter, or you want more sums of question? I'll show you question region 2 sheet. This is sheet 2. Okay. Or rather, I'll get the sum of estimated cost. Yeah. Here we have estimated cost. So I'll show you this one. This is important. I many students have requested, I will go to estimated cost sum. Wow. This sum is based on estimated cost sheet. So on this one, if estimated cost sheet sum is there for 20 marks, out of that 8 marks will be very easy to secure. Okay, and the estimated part will carry 12 marks. Okay, so now let us read the sum. I'll tell you where those 8 marks lies. Swadeshi Electronics Limited furnishes with the following information for the year ended whatever. Production and sale is 15,000 units. So currently company is producing 15,000 units. So students always remember in estimate cost sheet you have to make 2 cost sheet. So you can use this format particulars year 1 that is existing, and for next year you can use 2 more columns of amount, that is rupees and for okay. So this will save your time. You need not repeat all the particulars again and again. Okay. So from the given table, you can make current year's cost sheet. Okay, that will give you 7 to 8 marks easily. Okay, but before solving the cost sheet, always read the adjustment cost. Why? Because in adjustment, some bifurcation may be given to you regarding some of the items. That bifurcation you have to show in existing, that is current year's cost sheet also. This is very important. Okay, so let us read the first information adjustment information. On account of intense competition, following changes are estimated in the subsequent year. So these changes belong to second half of cost sheet. Okay, but some bifurcation may be done in the existing contract. Okay, I'll read. Production and sales activity will be increased by 1/3. So 15,000 into 1/3 is 5,000. So next year's output will be 15,000 plus 5,000. That is 20,000. This is clear, students? So current year output is 15,000. Next year it will be 20,000. Why? 15,000 plus 1/3 of 15,000. Okay, 5,000 increased. Next, material rate will be lowered by 25%. However, there will be increase in consumption by 20% due to quality difference. Okay, I'll show you. This relates to raw material. Direct wages will be reduced by 20%. Okay, this is for second year again. Out of the above factory overheads, 45,000 are fixed. The remaining factory overheads are variable in proportion to the number of units produced. So in factory overheads, although in the existing cost sheet, the directly figure is given 2,25,000, but we have to show its bifurcation. Okay, this is very important. While making the estimate cost sheet, you will need this bifurcation. Okay, so in cost sheet, 2,25,000 is given, but we have to bifurcate like 45,000 as fixed and remaining as variable. Okay, this is important. You can see here. In factory overhead, I have done the bifurcation. Fixed 45 and remaining 1,80,000 I have shown as variable. Okay, so when you are making estimated cost sheet, do this. Yeah, after this, I will go to next chapter, reconciliation. Okay. Okay. Total admin overheads will be lowered by 40%. Now this is related to administration overheads. Okay. Sales overheads per unit will remain same. Sale price per unit will be lowered by 20%. Okay. So only one, that is factory overheads, had bifurcation. So in given cost sheet, existing year's cost sheet, do that bifurcation. Okay, it is useful. So now let us post sales given 1275. So let's make it bold so you'll understand. We posted that. Direct wages 270. Okay, direct wages 270. Then direct material 330, direct wages 330. We add these two, we get prime cost. Then factory overheads, we have to do the bifurcation, right? 45 and 180. So we get net factory cost if we add it to prime cost. Okay, then office overheads are given 105. So we add it to factory cost, we get cost of production, that is 930. Then selling distribution overheads given 90,000, right? So we get cost of this is total cost. or cost of sales. Okay. Then add profit, then we get sales or other sales is given. Profit is balance equal 255. Okay. Now we know number of units produced are 15,000. So if you divide all these values by 15,000, you will get per unit cost. Okay. Whenever estimated cost sheet is there, per unit cost is very much needed. Okay. Or it's must for making estimated cost. Okay. Now keep your calculators handy, students. I'll ask you to do calculation. Okay. Now we are going for the next year's cost sheet. Okay. Now raw material consumed. What you will do with raw material consumed? How much amount you will take? Well, in case of all the prime cost item, direct material, direct labor. Okay. Remember that last year's amount will never come in next year's amount. Okay. We have to use per unit cost of last year to calculate estimated years or next year's amount of material or labor. Okay. Always remember. Okay. So what is the raw material per unit? 22 rupees. And read the second adjustment. What it says? It says material rate will be lowered by 25%. However, there will be an increase in consumption by 20% due to quality difference. So now take calculator on Calci, take 22, okay, plus how much consumption will be increased by 20% plus 20% and price will lower by 25%. In my whatever answer you get, then press minus 25%. Are you getting it? So 22. Even if you first do minus, then is also fine. So 22 minus 25% plus 20%. You could get same answer. Okay, it should be 19.80 per unit. Okay, so you get the same answer. 19.80. Whether you do consumption or price. Okay, you could get same answer 19.80. Okay. Now multiply this with current year, that is next year's units to be produced, 20,000. So you will get the amount. Okay. So this way you have to calculate amounts by using per unit. Okay. Now what about labor? Last year's labor per unit was 18. And adjustment 3 says direct wages cost would be reduced by 20%. So 18 minus 20%. Okay. 18 minus 20%. Direct cost would be reduced by 20%. So 18 minus 20%. So minus 3.6. So we get 14.40 into 20,000 units. Okay, so you get 2,88,000. There is no direct expense. So now you get prime cost 684,000. In per unit we have 34.20. Okay. Now we go to factory cost. Okay. Now since we had bifurcated factory overheads as variable and fixed. So fixed portion will remain as it's the amount. We always remember. In case of overheads, if fixed proportion is given to you, it remains fixed in the estimated cost. Okay, so fixed factory overheads will remain as it is, that is 45,000. Okay, what about variable portion? What is given? It says read the fourth adjustment. Out of the above factory overheads, 45,000 are fixed, so it remains fixed. The remaining factory expenses are variable in proportion to the number of units produced. Okay, so this indicates it will depend on number of units produced. So it will depend on per unit. So what was the per unit last time? 12. So even in this time you take 12, but you will multiply with new units produced value, that is 20,000. Clear? Now prime cost plus this factory overhead will give you net factory cost. Okay. Now next is admin overheads. What it says, total admin overheads will be lowered by 40%. See, as I told you, overheads are normally fixed in nature. Overheads are normally fixed in nature. Their value, their amount remains fixed. Okay, and we consider their value amount and not per unit. In case of prime cost item that I told you or variable cost item, we take per unit for calculating next year's value. So now here it is admin overheads. So it's saying that 40% lowered. So first take last year's admin overheads, it was 1,05,000. So from that minus 40%. So 1,04,5,000 minus 40%. It will give you current year's, that is estimated cost sheets, office overheads only. Okay. I'll repeat, in case of prime cost items and variable cost items, always take per unit as a starting point for calculating the cost in estimated cost. But in case of overheads or other fixed overheads, okay, all overheads are considered fixed by default unless variable proportion is told to us. Okay, so in case of overheads, take the amount as a starting point. Okay, clear? Next is given sales overheads per unit. Here they have mentioned per unit, so you can't question the question. Okay, sales overheads per unit would remain the same. So what was the per unit sales overhead last time? 6. So even this time take it as 6. Okay. Then multiply by units sold, produced and sold, 20,000. You will get the amount. Is this clear? Then add office overheads, sorry, cost of production, you get the total cost. Okay. What about sales? Sale price per unit would be lowered by 20%. So selling price was 85 minus 20%, comes to 68 into 20,000 units. You get 30 lakhs 60,000 as your sales for current year. So profit will be the balancing figure. I hope this is clear now, students. Okay. So as requested by you to go to next chapter, I'll go to next chapter. This is again estimated cost. Same way how to solve it. Okay. So done. So we'll go to next chapter, that is reconciliation of cost and financial profits. Okay. Okay, here we are. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. So profit reconciliation statement. That is one of the easiest chapters, but I don't know why students find it very difficult. I'll show you very simple techniques to solve these sums. Okay. Even you will find this sum very easy to solve. Okay. If you know costed very well and this is against costed sum, then do go for costed. Okay. Because this sum, although easy, may consume a lot of time. Okay. So I suggest if only costed is there, you go for costed. Okay. But in costed, again, some new things are there which you are not aware. Then you go better for this sum. That is the reconciliation of profit. Okay. Now, as we saw in costed, we ignore so many expenses. Okay. And rather many incomes. So financial profit and cost profit will show a different profit figure, isn't it? So we have to reconcile them. That why difference is, which items are causing the difference. Okay, like in FYGC, we used to make bank reconciliation statement. So same way we have to make profit reconciliation statement. Okay, to identify the items which are causing the difference. Okay, so I'll be teaching one good technique which will help you a lot to solve the sum in 10 minutes time. Okay, so let us see the step. Okay. As you can see, there is one sum. We put one question number 1 here. I'll just show you what kind of sums are there and how, what is the solution format. Then I'll show you the techniques. Okay, that will help you to understand in better manner. Okay. So I'll read the question. The net profit of a company for the year ended 31st March 14 was 56,600 as shown by the financial book. So this profit is shown by financial book. I told you profits from two books will be different. Which two books? One is financial books and second is cost books. Cost books means cost and financial books means P&L account, trading book. Okay, so these two books show different on 99% occasion. Okay, 99% cases, these two show different profit. Okay, okay. Now here financial profit is given. I'll read further. The cost accounts disclose a profit of 59,650. Okay, 3,000 more than the financial profit for the same period. Okay, so there must be some items which must be causing the difference. On an examination of both the sets of accounts, the following facts were discovered. So here they have given you the items which are causing the difference. So they are asking you to help them to reconcile which items to be added and which item to be subtracted to get the two figures tallying to each other. Okay, okay, that's the question. Clear? Now I'll tell you we have to follow three steps. Okay, three steps. Okay. Step one is choose your base. As I told you, two profits are there. So you have to start with one profit and you have to end the answer with the another. If you start with costing profit, your last answer will be, or ending answer will be financial profit. Is it clear, students? Okay. So whatever profit you start with is for your base. So now you can see here in the answer we have started with costed profit. So your base is what? Cost. Your base is cost. Once you decide the base, you cannot change it. Okay. So step one is you decide the base. Okay. Either you start with financial profit or cost profit. I'll show you both the ways. Huh? Don't worry. So in this one we have started with cost shift profit. Okay. So your base is cost rate. Your base is cost. Okay. Step one is clear. Okay. Then step two is you identify the given item, whether it's a debit item or a credit item. What is step two? Whether the given item is a debit item or a credit item. So how you will recognize whether debit or credit? Well, all expenses are debit items. Okay. I'll mention here expenses or asset are debit items. Okay. Same way, what are the credit items? If it is the income or an item of liability, it is called as credit item. Is this clear, students? So very simple to identify. अगर कोई expense का item है, तो we call it debit, or income का item है, so credit. So it is the asset, debit, liability, credit. Okay. This is step two. Step one is decide the base. So as soon as you start with some property, that becomes your base. Okay. Step two, you look at the first item and tell me whether it's a debit item or a credit item. Okay. Now look at the question first. Here adjustment is given to you. Goodwill written off in financial accounting 1,500. Goodwill written off. Where do we write off? P&L debit. It's a debit item, right? Write off means depreciation. Write off means depreciation. So depreciation is the expense. So it's a debit item. Are you getting this, students? So this you have to identify. Step one was decide the base. Step two, decide whether it's a debit item or a credit item. Then third step, here we have to compare or we have to see whether the given item is more in cost sheet because cost is our base or less in cost. Again, I'll say the given item which we are discussing is more in cost records or less in cost record. Why I'm saying cost record? Because our base is cost. Clear? Now, students go to C and D item. Just look at the C item. What they have given, depreciation charged in financial is 750. And D says, which is same item, depreciation recovered in cost is 1,000. Okay. So, same item, two values are given. Okay. We have to make a reconciliation. Now, step one, we already done our basis cost. Second step, whether debit or credit, depreciation. So, it's a debit item, right? Now, tell me whether it is more in cost or less in cost. You can compare. In cost it is 1,000 and in financial it is 750. So it is more in cost, isn't it? So what will be the effect? Add. The effect will be add. Okay. So I'll take you to the top. Look here. First, decide the base. Second, decide whether it's a debit item or a credit item. Okay. If it is a more, then this is fixed, huh? Right? This once you get the paper, while solving, before solving, make this format: is debit, credit, more less under debit, more less under credit. On the debit side, below more, write plus. This is the effect, rather plus minus. This is the effect, and below less, write less. On credit side, do the reverse. Okay. Under more, write less. Under less, write add. Okay. Yes, video will be available. Don't worry. Okay. Okay, students, we'll go to that question again. Now we'll solve the question. Okay. This is a fixed format. What is appearing below that answer format is a fixed table. Okay. Remember this table. Okay. What will change? Only the base will change. Okay. So when you appear for paper, just make this format. Write base. Only base will change, whether cost or financial profit. Okay. Below that, whatever is mentioned, this is fixed. This won't change. Okay. First, make two sections: debit and credits. Okay. Then under debit and credit, again make two sections: more or less, more or less. Okay. Below debit, under more, write add, and below debit, under less, write less. On the credit side, same way, but reverse. Under credit, we already have more and less. So below more, write sign minus, and below less, write add. Clear? Now let us solve this sum completely from the beginning. Two profits were given to us: costing as well as financial. So we started with costing profit. So I wrote next to base that cost is my base. So more or less I have to identify in cost. Cost में ज्यादा है या cost में कम है, that I have to identify, nothing else. Okay. So first item, goodwill written off in financial account. So goodwill we never write in cost sheet. बराबर? Goodwill cost sheet में होता ही नहीं. Clear? This should be known. Okay. Let us go to our steps. Step one is cost. Because we start with profit as per cost sheet, so our base is cost. Second step, tell me debit or credit. It's a debit because it's an expense. Written off means debit of PL. It's a debit. Now forget credit part. So under debit, we have to see whether it is more in cost or less in cost. Goodwill written off is never there in cost sheets. So in cost sheet, it is less. So effect will be less. Effect will be less. Okay. Should I repeat? Adjustment is goodwill written off in financial account 1,500. Okay. Step one, cost. This is our cost. Step two, debit or credit. It's a debit item because goodwill written off is the expense. So debit item. Then since our base is cost, tell me whether it is more in cost or less in cost. Well, goodwill written off never appears in cost. So in cost it is less. So below less, what is written? Less. So in answer format, in less category, you will write goodwill written off in financial accounts 1,500. That's it. Okay. Go to second one, B. At the end of this sum will be clear about this add and less. Okay. B says transfer fees received. Anything received is your income. Okay. During the year, rupees 200. Okay. Our base is cost. Now second step, debit or credit. This is income. Transfer fee received is your income. So it's a credit item. Okay. And any income apart from sale and scrap in cost sheet, they don't appear. So जो transfer received दिखा है, in cost sheet it must be zero. Cost sheet में होगा ही नहीं. समझे ना? So it's a credit item and in cost it is less. So उसके नीचे लिखने चाहिए पे क्या लिखा है? Add. So go to add items and write there transfer fees received during the year only in financial books, not in cost sheet. Clear? Okay. Go to third one, depreciation. Here both the figures as per cost, as per financial, both are given. Okay. Now, step one is base, already done. Now tell me debit or credit. Depreciation is an expense, so debit item. Okay. Now third step, in cost sheet, whether it is more or less. So compare both the figures of depreciation. In financial it is 750, in cost it is 1,000. So it's more in cost. So Below more, what is written? Add. So go to add. Depreciation in cost is more. Okay, so write 250 in add. Next item, opening stock. On 1st April, in financial record is 13,000 and in cost record it is 12. Whenever two figures are given, we have to take the difference in the answer. Huh? Remember this. Now, opening stock, where does it appear on the trading account debit side? So this is the debit item, right? Now tell me it is more or less in cost. Look at the opening stock value. In cost it is 12,000 and in financial it is 13,000. So in cost it is less. So debit item is less. So if it will be less. So in less we'll write opening stock less in cost. One. Clear? Next item, closing stock. In financial it is 14,000. In cost it is 15,000. Okay. So first tell me whether it's a debit or credit. Closing stock appears on the credit side, so it's a credit item. And in cost record it is more. From below more written less, so it will go to less. Closing stock more in cost 1,000. Now add these two figures of add items, put them in the outer column, add it to the cost and profit, you get one total. Then go to less items, add them, put in the outer column. From 6,100, subtract them, you get the new answer. This must be profit as per financial records. Okay, how much it is? 56,600. Okay, so you can see it's matching with your profit figure as per question given in the question. Okay, students, I hope you understood this one. So it's very simple. Okay, 3 steps you have to follow. You will understand how to add or subtract given item. Okay. Shall we do one more item? Shall we stop here? Okay. I think students have taken a break, so even I'll stop here. Okay. If any doubt, please let me know. On personal chat on WhatsApp. Okay. So I'll stop here. Thank you, students, for attending the lecture. Okay, this link will be available till your exam. Okay. Bye. See you. Take care.